Welcome back to another episode of Fieldy's Backtracks. In this episode, episode 6, on our Tassie trip with my brothers, we're currently heading up to Mt Wellington. After Mt Wellington, we head down to Cockle Creek. We stay overnight at Longley, and then we head up to the geographical centre of Tassie on our way to Queenstown. Stick around to find out which one of us drop our motorbike. That's a bit of fun for you. Check out this guy on the push bike. Now that's keen. Fieldy's fun fact about Mt Wellington, 1,271 metres high. Abel Tasman cruised past here in like 1642. There's a weather station at the top that was established in 1895. Anyway, bit of fun facts for you.
Did, yeah.
If you're wondering what that squeak is, that's our motorbike boots as we walk down the boardwalk while we're going to have a look for the view.
Oh, yeah.
Good mate, I think that's a nice ride up on the bike, isn't it?
Bit cool, but it's nice.
It's worth a trip going up to Mt Wellington. It's absolutely sensational. We were really lucky with our weather as well. A lot of the time of the year, there's snow at the top of the hill here, the mountain, and but the views are just exceptional, absolutely exceptional. Here we are, top of Mt Wellington, and who we bump into? Richard. Richard on the Ural. We had a good conversation with that Swansea, wasn't it?
Swansea it was.
Yeah, Swansea. So yeah, no, we'll bump around together as well because we're all heading in the same direction.
Yes, you guys will probably get in front of me. I'm going to stop for a couple of days and wash. And
Yeah.
I've got clothes to wash. And
Yeah.
sort of shit. I'll go down further south though before I do that.
Yeah. No, good stuff. But how's the view? How is the view?
Cockle Creek, yeah. Right down the bottom. And head back up towards Cradle.
Yeah, same here. Now I'm heading up that way. I'm going to try and bypass this road and sort of go more inland. Even just dirt roads.
G'day, mate. Yeah, for sure.
The best one here.
Beautiful day. Beautiful day. It's only 13 degrees or something, so it's not even cold. So yeah. Anyway, down to Cockle Creek next. We left Mt Wellington and we headed down the back way through these forest drives, and then we followed the Huon River all the way down. It was an absolutely sensational ride, seeing these little towns and then riding next to the rivers and inlets was just beautiful. The weather, like I've said before, the weather was definitely on our side. Still tried to pick all the backtracks, some of the dirt roads, just to see some extra of the country rather than sticking to the main roads. We're on adventure bikes, so why not? popped out of the bush track, and then we came right on next to the Huon River, and the road, dirt road, just wound its way right next to past Franklin, through the Franklin station, right down to Port Huon. It was a sensational ride. This was one of my favourite rides, I think, from Hobart down to Cockle Creek. with a fantastic ride heading south. We ended up getting close to Cockle Creek now, and this white sort of sandy stuff, you still got to be on your game when you're riding, because there are some soft spots there, and if you weren't paying attention, the old front wheel could go out from underneath you and you end up eating shit like you probably don't really want to on an adventure bike. So they're quite tough to pick up, so we try to avoid that at all costs. Cockle Creek is the most southern point of Tassie that you can drive to. Obviously there's further land south, but you can't drive there. So we pulled up, had a bit of a rest, got the drone out, sent some footage up. Cockle Creek's 148 kilometres from Hobart. So, but definitely worth having a look if you wanted to head down. It's just a beautiful spot. There's no shops. There are no shops. There's a public telephone booth. And just beautiful views. So camping, fishing. It's in the World Heritage National Park, so you'd have to get permits and stuff to stay there. I've been craving something all day since this morning. Told the boys, but this is what I sort of feel like today. If we come across it, it's going to be great. Guess what? We've come across it. Oh, pretty. And scones. After I got my scones and cup of tea fix, we headed back north. We're going past the port of Dover here on our way to the Longley Hotel. Longley Hotel, just south of Hobart. It's where we're staying tonight, and we've got a little camp, free camp, and we're going in there for some dinner and something to eat, and couple of beers. Longley Hotel was established in 1861, and it's been there ever since. I think it's been rebuilt a couple of times. We were speaking to the owner. They burnt down and they've rebuilt it. But they have live music there, like big acts out the back here. I'm just walking through. Now, apparently they've got the longest Huon pine bar in the world. So that's quite interesting. We asked them. We camped across the road in the little space across the road. We met some wonderful people there, and they fired up the fire out the back, and we stood around talking, met people from all over Australia down there, and it was just a wonderful night there. Next morning we got up, headed back north, back through Hobart, and then out towards the west. We're aiming for Queenstown. Through this way there's more sort of farmland, open sort of plains, but as you go towards the west, the mountains get bigger, the forest gets thicker, and just a beautiful area, like completely different to down south. Well, here we are. Geographical centre of Tasmania, right here. Bikes are running very well. Zero incidents. Having a great time. What do you reckon, Choc?
Awesome.
Good time?
Fantastic.
ADOS?
Smooth as silk, mate.
Smooth as silk. Nice little monument, and then a little chart over here. That's a cool map, isn't it? All the surveyors writing and signed off. That's cool. Nothing?
I never piss.
Oh. Alrighty. Heading towards the west, we ride past a lot of these hydro pipes where Tasmania is 100% hydro powered apparently. So these are the massive pipes that run water through them, gravity feed down through dams and weirs that power generators and then powers up the state. Now apparently Tassie Hydro's got over 54 dams and 30 hydro powered stations. Now in a pristine environment like Tasmania, there's got to be something that's impacted that. So damming up the rivers and things like that. I'm sure the wildlife, and there are several things that have been impacted, but you know, it is the race for power, isn't it? Anyway, what do you think? Leave your comments down below, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Just coming up on one of these power stations now on the left hand side with there's all the pipes running down the hill, and then it'll hit that turbine and then continue going down, generating power along the way. we continue our ride west towards Lake St Clair. Now, Fieldy's fun fact about Lake St Clair: it's 15 kilometres long, 3 kilometres wide, surface area is 45 kilometres squared, and the maximum depth is 215 metres. That's unbelievable, hey? And right now we're having a cup of tea and a little cake or something in the visitors centre here, so which is great. You can do lots of hikes, and it comes out the back of Cradle Mountain. Now, Chris was up front here and he pulled over to see where we were, and it's so slippery on the side of the road here with all the moss and stuff. The front wheel came out from underneath him and he just stepped off it. So here he is picking it up now. And we're going, oh, what's happened? Is the stand thing playing up again? He goes, nah, it's just like it fell out from underneath me from the slippery moss. So you've got to be careful when you pull over on the side of the road here, because you just never know. Some of these mountains don't get any sort of sunshine on them at all, so they don't even dry out.
Cut out. Cut out again. Hey, get it cut out again. You know what? Get it cut out again.
No, I think I stopped the truck and turned around to see who was there. Front wheel washed out on the moss.
No harm done, and off we went towards Queenstown. Now, this was an absolutely scenic, beautiful ride as well. Like I've been saying the whole videos, Tasmania is just next level. If you ever get a chance to go to Tassie, please go down and have a look, because it is just beautiful, especially the west coast as well. The west coast is just beautiful. The weather was still on our side pretty much every day we went down there. So we were down there in February. So February, March is sort of the best time. So we were late February, early March. That's probably the best time for riding. I did some research before we went, asked a lot of locals from the previous visit I went down there. So yeah, that's the time of the year, is probably if you're going to ride a motorbike. We're just coming up through Linda here, little town of Linda, and then that goes to the Horsetail Falls on the left-hand side, and which leads into 99 Bends, which comes into Queenstown. And this is a magnificent road, especially for motorbikes or cars. Just brilliant. Now we pulled into Queenstown where we stayed the night. Now we found this little hotel and it was out of one of the movie sets from Bay of Fire's TV series. On the left hand side there, the Longley Hotel. We were the only ones staying there. We got in touch with the caretaker who got in touch with the owners, and we managed to get a room each in this celebrity sort of hotel. It's not really open to the public much anymore. They do a little bit of FIFO accommodation, but we were really lucky enough to stay there, and it was just magnificent. We went down to the local pub, had a fantastic feed there, and then we just had to relax, had an early night, for it was a big long day on the bikes. Ready to go again for tomorrow, where we're going to be heading north. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.